To launch any of the neurology analysis software, enter the neurology analysis workflow step by left-clicking on the blind. Different software is provided for database comparison, ratio analysis, and subtraction. Upon launching the database comparison software, the Reference Brain Selection dialog box will open. The database comparison software automatically chooses the appropriate database. In this example, the Biograph HD database. There are ECAT databases, Biograph databases, and Biograph High Definition databases. There are also two databases that utilize the Smart Neuro AC reconstruction. There are databases for other pharmaceuticals as well, which can be accessed by left-clicking on the drop-down menu. Database comparison also offers HMPAO and age-matched ECD databases. Once the database is selected, left-click OK. The database comparison workflow steps are located in the upper left-hand portion of the screen. The workflow steps include fusion to MR or fusion to CT, or both, if an MR and CT were both loaded. Fusion to normal will compare to the normals database, and then analysis and anatomical review. The tools for database comparison are located on the upper bar. By default, pan is active. To pan the image, hold the left mouse button and pan the image. To zoom the image, left-click the icon, move the cursor to the image segment, click and hold the left mouse button and push or pull the mouse to the desired size. To scroll the images, left-click on the scroll icon to turn it on. Move the cursor to the desired segment and then click and hold the left mouse button to scroll through the images. Also, scrolling can be performed by utilizing the slice text in the lower right corner of the segment. Hold the left mouse button and push or pull the mouse to scroll through the images. The center scroll wheel will also slice through the images. Please note that the center scroll wheel and slice text will function even if the scroll icon is not turned on. To alpha blend the image, left-click on the transparency icon. Move the cursor to the image segment and hold the left mouse to alpha blend between the anatomical and functional data. An alpha blend bar is also provided. To change the intensity or color bar, left-click on the appropriate icon and choose a selection. To increase the intensity, left-click and hold the icon and drag to the desired intensity. To compare the functional dataset to the normals database, left-click on the Fusion to Normal workflow step. In the lower right-hand corner, a status bar is provided indicating the progress of the fusion. The patient data is being fused to a standard template to enable an accurate comparison to the normals database. The Fusion to Normal workflow step provides a fusion of the functional dataset to the normals database function datasets. To visualize between the two, utilize the transparency slider bar to visualize the normals database image in grayscale and the functional dataset in color to confirm appropriate fusion. The analysis workflow step provides both uptake images as well as statistical images. The uptake images are displayed in orthogonal views, and you can also visualize SSP images. The SSP image can also take a 3D volume effect by left-clicking on the 3D volume effect icon. Cortical views are also provided. Statistical images are also provided that utilize a color coding to display how the uptake in the patient's brain varies statistically from normal. The statistical images also have SSP as well as cortical views. A regions of interest table is provided showing the quantification values for specific regions. The information listed in the table can be modified by right-clicking the header and selecting the desired display items. To display the regions on the images, left-click on the desired region and it will populate on the images. To visualize multiple regions, simply hold the Control key on the keyboard as multiple regions are selected. To visualize even more predefined lesions, left-click on the drop-down and select All. Also, if a particular area of the brain is of interest, the ROI selection tool will allow you to move the cursor throughout the brain and will indicate the specific region of the brain. The Anatomical Review workflow step provides visualization of the functional and anatomical data in a larger format. The Region of Interest table is also available, allowing for visualization of regions on the images. To create a screen capture of a finding, move the cursor over the snapshot icon and left-click to add it to the Key Images tab, as well as the Findings Navigator. Database comparison provides the opportunity to manage databases by creating custom databases, editing custom databases, and reviewing custom databases. To create a new database, left-click on the Databases drop-down in the menu and select Create New Database. A dialog box will appear asking for information on the database. Enter the database name, a description, and select the settings. The proportion of brightest voxels determines which voxels inside the selected normalization region will be used when normalizing the subjects in the database and the patients to be compared to the database. Smoothing determines how much Gaussian smoothing will be applied to the database and the patients being compared to it. Left-click on the Create icon once all data is entered. To add a patient to the database, left-click on the Databases drop-down in the menu and select Add Current Subject to Database. The activity will be grayed out if the Fusion to Normal workflow step has not yet been passed. Select the appropriate database to add the patient. A dialog box will populate. Confirm the information is correct and left-click on Add. A dialog box will appear indicating the subject was successfully added to the database. To manage the databases, left-click on the Databases drop-down and select Manage Databases. A dialog box will populate listing all the databases available in Database Comparison. To view a database, highlight the database by left-clicking and select the View icon. The View Database feature provides basic information such as the number of patients and age range. Two sets of images are also provided. The mean uptake shows the mean uptake of every voxel in the database, the mean of all subjects that compose the database. The standard deviation shows the standard deviation of every voxel to the mean. To close the overview, left-click on Close. To edit a database, highlight a created database and left-click on Edit. The title and description may be edited and subjects can be removed from the database. Once editing is complete, left-click on OK. Created databases can also be deleted by highlighting the database and left-clicking on the Delete icon. A dialog box will appear asking to confirm the selection to delete. Left-click OK to delete the database.